Take a look what happened.
At a Trump rally, everything changed in an instant with a single gunshot. As Trump launched his comeback, a bullet struck him. America was thrown into chaos. Polls showed the assassination attempt had an unprecedented impact, giving Trump a surge in support that could propel him back to the White House. On July 13th, 2024, Trump took the stage at Christina's World Grill and Pub in Wadsworth, a small town outside Pittsburgh, to deliver remarks in support of his 2024 presidential campaign. Only a few minutes into his speech, a gunman opened fire from the rooftop of a nearby building, sending the crowded rally into chaos. Trump was struck in the head by a bullet, but survived with only a graze to his ear. Tragically, a bystander named Corey Comparatori, who was attending the event, was killed and 2 others were injured in the shooting. The would-be assassin, 20-year-old Thomas Matthew Crooks of Pittsburgh, was tackled and disarmed by Secret Service agents on the rooftop within moments. He was later pronounced dead at a local hospital, with authorities saying he took his own life as law enforcement closed in. In the hours and days that followed, investigators sought to determine Crook's motives and how he was able to gain access to the rooftop virtually undetected on what was supposed to be a highly secure event. The attempted assassination of Donald Trump sent major shockwaves through the country amid a critically important midterm election season, with control of Congress hanging in the balance and the possibility of Trump running for president again in 2028. His security and safety took on enormous significance. The American public was deeply troubled by the events, given the already tense political environment heading into the 2022 vote. It seemed unthinkable that a former president could be targeted for violence at a campaign event where security should have been tightest. Trump had been guarded for years by the Secret Service, the agency responsible for protecting the president, vice president, and other high-level officials. Now, serious questions emerged over how an armed assailant could gain access and open fire without being immediately stopped. Much of the public demanded answers from the Secret Service about what precautions were taken and why they appeared to fail so dramatically, allowing a would-be killer to put an ex-president's life in jeopardy. Director of the Secret Service Kimberly Cheatle quickly found herself in the spotlight, facing intense scrutiny and calls to resign over what was seen by critics as a massive security failure. Cheatle acknowledged that requests from the Trump campaign for added measures at rallies had been denied by the Secret Service, contradicting earlier statements. Congressional committees launched probes to investigate the handling of the event, while the Department of Homeland Security Inspector General opened its inquiries. Meanwhile, experts noted the psychological impacts the assassination attempt was likely having across America as people processed the shocking images and non-stop media coverage. Research has shown exposure to graphic violence, especially involving public figures, can cause acute stress and collective trauma. With political tensions already inflamed, some also feared the incident could further fuel extremism and polarization depending on how different audiences interpreted and spread the news. In the following weeks and months, more details would emerge, shedding light on both the lead-up and immediate aftermath of the violence in Pennsylvania. The Secret Service acknowledged it should have done more to secure the building from which the gunman opened fire. Photos showed Trump surrounded by blood and in obvious pain just moments after being shot. His doctors later said the bullet narrowly avoided arteries and major organs in his neck. Politically, most surveys and analysts concluded the assassination attempt was unlikely to significantly shift the November midterm election outcomes, though it gave Trump's campaign a temporary boost as he emerged defiant and portrayed himself as a fighter. His approval ratings spiked but leveled off within a couple of months as other issues took precedence. Still, the event loomed large over the final stretch of the 2024 campaign season and accelerated discussions around his potential 2028 bid. Long-term historians say political violence targeting candidates is rarely determinative come election day, but can influence the national mood and discourse. Some speculated Trump may opt to take a more cautious approach to events going forward due to safety concerns, a move that could advantage or disadvantage him depending on how supporters and opponents view such a change. Either way, the shooting ensured the 45th president's presence would continue playing an outsized role in American politics for years to come. From a security perspective, the failures exposed vulnerabilities that warranted remedy. Congress held oversight hearings delving into what went wrong, what additional safeguards were needed, and whether leadership changes were merited at the Secret Service. Director Cheatle testified and shouldered responsibility, but rebuffed demands she resign over the matter. Incremental security reforms were implemented at campaign events, while personnel shifts and reviews occurred within the agency. No reoccurrence of such violence may offer the best measure of progress on these fronts. However, as the nation witnessed on that July night in Pennsylvania, even diligent precautions offer no guarantees against determined acts of political violence in a climate of intense divisions. Ongoing efforts to reduce extremism and curb the demonization of opponents will likely remain vital for helping to lower such risks over the long run. The shooting of Donald Trump and its fallout added an indelible chapter to this uniquely tumultuous period in American history. It injected further chaos and uncertainty into national politics during a critical election year. Psychologically, many were left traumatized by witnessing violence against a former commander-in-chief, and security practitioners were reminded that even regarding figures as tightly protected as the president, stealthy threats will continue posing challenges in an era of polarized anger and easy weapon access. Ultimately, through a combination of luck, strength, and rapid medical care, Trump survived what could have been a catastrophic event. Yet the implications of what transpired in Wadsworth on July 13th, 2024 will endure. The scars of that night, whether physical or broader, helped cement Trump's status as one of the most polarizing figures in modern American political history. They also offered another troubling sign of the extraordinary pressures and hazards that come with seeking high office in an increasingly angry and dangerous time. As citizens in a democracy, staying informed and thoughtful is so important during times like these. If you found this video informative, please help spread the word by liking, commenting, and subscribing to the channel. Thanks for watching, everyone. Stay safe out there.